fans the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
What up, what up, what up? This is your man Furious, Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. And today we have a special guest that's back. We had her on here with Christiane. And the story is like her story, her musical journey. I mean, it's made for TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 5-time Grammy winner Candace Wakefield here on Deeper Than Music Radio. How you doing, Candace?
I'm amazing. Glad to be back, man. I appreciate it.
We had to have you back. I mean, like I said, your story, I mean, is made for like TV. I mean, it's one of those stories that it speaks to being innovative. It speaks to not giving up on your dream and doing whatever it takes. And my favorite part is like you working or you being friends with T-Boz's brother and not knowing it until you actually meet T-Boz.
That's so crazy, right?
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to circle back because I know there was one thing that you said that you were in the studio with Nicki Minaj where you had previously worked. You worked security, correct?
Yes, I was a security guard for 5 years. Yeah.
So can we start from, like, I guess the beginning of your journey, like just recap, like where did it all start? Like where was the inspiration of you wanting to be a songwriter and singer?
Oh man, it's in my family. It's just in my blood. From my grandmother on up, my mother, my father, everybody in my family were musical geniuses, you know. My grandmother being one of my biggest inspirations, traveled the world writing for Mahalia Jackson, and she was in a group called Ladies of Songs with all my aunts and my mom, and they just traveled and, you know, spread the good news. So it was destined for me, you know. So I'm just out here carrying the torch, trying to keep it going, you know.
So you said she worked with Mahalia Jackson?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mahalia Jackson was my brother's, God rest her soul, godmom. So she was a part of our family, and, you know, and back in the day, my grandmother used to write for her. Specifically, there's a song called The Only Hope, and that's the opener of my album, and it's also a song that my grandmother wrote and sang, and Mahalia Jackson recut it 3 different versions. It's on iTunes, it's everywhere. So it's pretty cool to know that my grandmother had a hand in, you know, big legends like that.
Wow. And like I said, like just to kind of recap, but we'll go through the whole full story, but just to get the listeners just a little bit of your resume. I mean, 5-time Grammy winner, worked with Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj, and of course T-Boz of TLC.
Yeah. So
you knew you wanted to be a singer and songwriter. When did you start? Huh?
I said, yes, since a little girl. I always singing in church. You know, I grew up in church, so I was singing in choirs and praise and worship team and all of that, and it just kind of went from there.
And when did you, like, really start pursuing it? Like, you know, okay, I'm going to start, you know, going out there and making this dream a reality. Oh,
man, I started doing that. I've always done it because I was from church. I was a gospel singer, you know, from the early 2000s. And I started working security, but I always kept, you know, the dream, doing performances here and there at different clubs. I used to perform at the Conga Room for years. You know, I just always was like, you know, I'm just going to keep on singing no matter what. I hope people can hear me. You know, I've always just wanted, it wasn't about being big or famous or, you know, stuff like that. It was always about the gift and just wanting to touch people with my voice. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always told, oh, man, your voice is anointed, all these different things. So I'm like, okay, cool. That means that people are feeling good when I'm singing. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel good. Always finding ways to be encouraged. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes just having to sing in order to fight your way through whatever it is that you're going through. So I always felt like my gift was a peace and a calm, you know, for other people, and the same for me, you know?
And was it just like a genesis of, I mean, the evolution was you, because I remember when we were talking that, was it your sister that was telling you about some of your gigs or giving you like, okay, hey, what about doing this for Nicki? Was it?
Yeah, my sister randomly called me. I was at work in the booth, working security. My sister called me because at the time she was she was the one traveling with Jill Scott and Adam Lambert from American Idol, traveling the world doing background. And at the time I was working security, looking for a gig and hoping something would pop off for me. And randomly my sister calls and says, "Hey sis, you want to do a session for Nicki Minaj at 3 o'clock?" And I'm just like, "What?" Like, it was so random. No idea my sister had connections to Nicki or not even nothing,
Wow.
Her musical director.
So you didn't know? I feel like that's another like surprise,
Yeah.
like the T-Bar surprise. Wow. So you
It
didn't know?
is.
Wow. And that's a big look from sister right there, right?
Yeah, and I thank her. My Rain Awake, that's my baby, my older sister. I love her so much because without that call, it wouldn't have changed my life. That call took me out of a 9 to 5. I traveled the world for 4.5 years. You know what I'm saying? And it was just such a blessing how that all even came about. It trips me out still to this day, that story.
So,
because that turned from a session to Nicki reaching out and asking me to come up to my own job to meet with her, and then leaving in 3 days to travel the world.
So let me ask you a question. Like, what was if we could go back, like, right, your sister calls, can you kind of like tell us what was your mindset because you said it wasn't expected, like, what were you thinking, like, in your
Okay,
in your
so
head?
I'm in the booth. She calls, and I'm just like, what? I'm just excited. I'm like, okay. She's like, but you have to be there at 3 o'clock. Now, mind you, I got off work at 2:45 p.m. I worked in Culver City. The studio is in Glendale. Now,
Okay.
2:45 p.m. is mad rush hour. You understand? So I have to go, get off work, check off, So I tried to get off a little earlier, if I can go deeper into the story. I tried to get off work a little earlier, let my boss know what was going on. They told me no, I couldn't get off earlier. So I was just like, okay. So I called my sister back and was like, I can't get off early. They're telling me I can't be there. I'll be there after 3. She was like, okay, don't worry, just get here as soon as you can. She was like, Nicki won't be here anyway. And I'm just like, okay.
Okay.
We just doing the session for Nicki. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Long story short, I get all the way to the studio. We rehearsing, and walks Nicki Minaj. And we all just, it was 5 girls. It was me and my sister, my friend Keisha, and 2 other girls. And we were just like flabbergasted. And she asked us all to sing individually. And she ended up asking me to stay after. And everyone else left. And it's kind of there, you know what I'm saying? Just pretty crazy how that all turned out. But my mindset, I was so shocked. And I was just like, I just was praying for this, like a gig, an opportunity. And a sister calls me with it, Just was amazing, man.
Yeah, she, man, that's a big deal. And you said, so Nicki asked you all to sing individually.
Yeah, and I'm walking to the booth thinking she was ready for us to cut, the songs, because we had been rehearsing, before she got there, because we didn't think she was there. So we were just going over the songs, and I'm thinking she's ready for us to go in the booth. So I started walking towards the booth, and she was like, where are you going? And nobody was following me. So I was like, oh. She's like, no, I want you guys to sing, like, individually. And we're like, huh? This turned into an audition, child. But it was the best day of my life because I was able to showcase my vocal ability. And, she asked me to stay. Not sure what she wanted then, but she asked us to stay and she spoke to us. And she didn't mention the tour or anything yet. She just mentioned a 3-episode series called My Time Now that came on E. It was a 3-episode series on E. And we ended up featuring on a song called Freedom. And her album went platinum. So that, gave me a platinum plaque, you know what I'm saying, for singing on Nicki Minaj's album.
So basically, you were also involved in the you were featured also in the Lifetime.
Yeah, we
series.
were on the show, all episodes. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just like a life-changing call.
Life-changing, because we were just at this Malibu studio. She called us to a Malibu studio, and we're just there watching her write. It was her and Safari at the time, so we were just there watching her writing process. And we recorded the song right on the spot. It was amazing.
And how was, like, Nicki Minaj? Was she cool,
she was
down
so
to earth?
Cool. She was funny. She was everything opposite of what I expected because of all the rumors and crazy foolishness that I heard about her.
Yeah.
Every star has their moments where they, that light is a little dim. They get a little cocky and all those different things. But she was so sweet. She was actually really sweet. You know what I'm saying? Very supportive of our gifts, I loved it because she allowed us to shine on tour. She gave us our little solo moments, and to sing in front of 30,000, 40,000. The biggest crowd we did was like 100,000 because we did the Philly. In Philly, we did the what is it, the New Year's show or something like that. But it was so many people, and just to have my voice heard all over the world, I thank you, Nicki. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, because we yeah, like you said with the Nicki, you know, I think big personality, New York, and then I also think, you know, the little rift on Idol between her and Mariah.
Yeah.
You know, Mariah. We've heard stories about Mariah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I work with a lot of different artists, and they had their moments. Even Nicki, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't always 100% when it came to attitude and all of that. But hey, she gave me my shot.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good, and it's good to see that, you know. Yeah, you man, that's awesome. I mean, but your whole story is like you have those moments, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what I want to do is, and again, like. When I first got your music and I was like 1993 Camaro, I was like, man, 1993 Camaro, I was like, that's pretty interesting. I was like, I know there's a story behind it. Mm-hmm. And like first is that you recorded your album in your car.
Yes.
So we're going to, if you want to add, if there's anything else you want to add more, I'm going to go ahead and play for the listeners, 1993 Camaro.
Hey, please check it out, man. It's going on 10 years that I've had this car, and I'm so excited of the journey. You know, I'll never let it go. From working security, writing on my lunch breaks to, you know what I'm saying, still writing today and writing hits and my biggest placements in my car. You know what I'm saying? I just want to inspire all the writers and dreamers out there that you don't always have to have, you know, a studio or all these engineers that you have to pay for if you don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? Invest in yourself, a computer, a microphone. I've been holding that microphone in my hand, sitting in my driver's seat for over 9 years. You understand? Self-engineer, figured it out because I didn't have time or the dime to call anybody else, but I figured it out by any means necessary how to do it myself. And that's where 1993 Camaro, the journey comes from writing in my car and recording. GarageBand, shout out to GarageBand, endorse me. I'm in this thing, Candace Wakefield.
and I like the chorus, like in my 1993 Camaro, all I do is dream. And like you said to the dreamers, don't give up, Candace.
My dreams are my songs, absolutely.
Candace Wakefield is a testament, man. Her testimony is, man, phenomenal. So here we go. Deeper Than Music Radio, Candace Wakefield, 1993 Camaro.
Sitting here thinking about life and how I'm gonna get by. Every day and night I'm out here working overtime till I'm tired. I got lyric after lyric, song after song. I've been grinding in my car all night long. Cause it is my refuge, my personal space. Whatever emotion I'm feeling, it's my getaway. So up and away I go. Crazy how the time goes by, sitting in my car all night and now, looking at the moon and I'm looking at the stars and I'm wondering if I'm gonna see tomorrow. I wanna know if I'll ever make it like the big stars, have a big star, live a boulevard, have a fancy house, cause I work so hard. I just wanna make it for the family. I gotta make it for the family. So up and away I go. I'm a cause that's where I belong. And my 1993 Camaro, all I do is dream. I dream of, I do. And my 1993 Camaro, all I do is dream. All I do is dream. 1993 Camaro, all I do is drink. Yo, it's been a long time coming, man. I was supposed to shoot this video so long ago, but you know, God's timing is the right timing. I'm a homegirl Tay. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All love, that's good, man. I'm excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, Candace Wakefield, 1993 Camaro. Man, outstanding song that speaks to just your journey and then your drive and determination. Man, very phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
And the one thing that I like is I laugh at the younger generation because, you know, well, some of them, and the aspect that, you know, back in the day, you had to learn stuff. You had to go to the library. You know, you had card catalog. I bought this book, This Business of Music, and you had to, you know, do things. And in the information age, everything is available to you. All you have to do is just, if you Google, YouTube, you know, research, and you can make it happen. I mean, the technology is there and available for you.
Yeah,
and
so easy these days. Yeah.
Yeah, and for you to record in your car, and I remember you saying like you didn't want to make any noise and you know wake anybody up.
Yeah, I was with my parents. Yeah, so it's just like, you know, I would try to record in there during the day, and then like most of the time I would be like, okay, well, if I'm cursing, and my parents grew up very, you know, in a church, religious home, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be disrespectful or even singing about certain things in the house, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how my parents were very, you know, careful about words, their kinds, whatever I was writing, because I was writing all kind of music, you know? So something was like, look, just go to the car, you know? And I'm like, well, how am I going to charge my computer? I'm like, whatever. I'm going to make this, we're going to put it at 100%, and I'm going to go outside and record as much as I can up until it died, you know? So that's what I would literally do. I would just run outside, record for hours, and then run back in, let it charge, run back outside, record again. I was back and forth, you know what I'm saying? And then I had finally found a little adapter so I can charge in my car. But then I was running up, it was draining my battery, you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, whatever, hey, but anything to get the job done, you know? So
the Nicki, the going on tour, was that immediately after you did the background vocals in the Lifetime show, or did like?
Yeah, it was actually not too long after, because we went right back to work. We hadn't heard anything, you know, so I kind of thought things were done. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, because she mentioned that we weren't going on tour. She told us specifically the studio session was just for us to record the vocals for her slow section of her tour. She had about 6 songs that were slower, and she wanted live vocals for them. So she was like, you guys, your vocals will be on tour, but you won't be. And we were like, oh, that's dope. Well, cool. You know, we still getting paid, whatever.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then I got that random call when I got home from work, maybe a month and a half later, asking me to meet her at Sony Pictures Studio. And I had literally just got home from work, because I worked there for 5 years at the time. And it just was like a trip for me to get a call to go right back to work to meet up with her. So changed my clothes, went right back to the job. And all my security guards was like, what you doing back here? I'm like, yo, Nicki Minaj want to meet with me. And everybody was just tripping out, you know. So I walked to the stage, and when I walked in, it was her full set, the Pink Roman Reloaded Pink Friday set, and all her dancers, Lorianne Gibson. And when I walked in, Nicki, hey, there's my babies. And I'm just like, huh? Like, what's going on? Like, so confused. But I was so excited because she asked us, what are we doing in 3 days? And I said, I work. And she was like, well, yeah, I know you work. Where do you work? I said, I work here. And she was blown away. She was just like, what? She was like, you know, I've been rehearsing here for like 3 months. And I knew that, you know, but it's a gray area for us. You know what I'm saying? We can't go knock on the door and talk and hang out with Nicki Minaj. So she's like, how come you didn't come speak or come say anything? And I was just like, well, you know, I didn't think we was all best friends and that was okay. She was like, heck yes, okay. What are you doing in 3 days? And I was just like, working. She was like, you think you can get off for 2 months? And I was just like, what? She was like, yeah, I need you guys to come on the road with me in 3 days. We're heading overseas. And I said, wow. Yeah. I was completely blown away. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it all started.
Wow. And then when she told you, could you do the tour with her for 3 months? And we all, you know a regular job. You like 3 days, and I'm gonna be gone for 2 months. You might have had to made a serious life changing decision. You know what I'm saying?
That was a complete life changing decision. I was so scared and so nervous, but at the same time, I was so excited. I didn't have a passport. I had never been out of the country, so I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So, I had to ask my job for permission, of course, but I had already been there for 5 years. So I had 6 months leave of absence. So it was perfect. It was freaking perfect. But my friend Keisha, who actually was the other girl who Nicki wanted to go with me, we came to the meeting together, and she actually was leaving in 3 days for Africa because she sang background with my sister Raina. So that was the conflict there. So we had a whole 10-hour night before we even were able to confirm that we were going with Nicki, because Keisha had to call Adam Lambert and get permission to get off of that tour for us to go with Nicki the last minute. So that was all crazy, like nuts. We all riding around the lot on the golf cart, calling everybody, trying to pray, crying, because Nicki literally told me, Candace, if you can't go, Keisha, if you can't go, then Candace, I don't want you either. She said, because I don't want one without the other. She literally told us that. She said, if I can't have both of you, then I don't want neither of you. And I was just like, wow.
Wow, that's one of them. Yeah,
that was deep. She was like, so Keisha, go figure it out. Go figure it out. I'm not taking no for an answer. So she left us to figure it out. And it took the whole night, but we finally got that yes from Adam Lambert. Shout out to Adam Lambert for letting Keisha get off of a whole tour 3 days before leaving to go and chase her dream with Nicki Minaj. That was such a beautiful experience, such a humbling experience. And
that is so awesome, man. That is
amazing.
Wow.
Because I wouldn't have been able to go, man. It changed my whole life.
Yeah, that's one of those pivotal moments I'm pretty sure that you'll never forget, right? Like
never.
And I tell people, man, you never know what's around the corner. You got to keep on keeping on. Like there's a drawing, you probably seen it circulating on Facebook, where there's two guys. One guy's digging a hole, and in the hole they don't see it, but you see the light at the end of the tunnel. One guy continues to dig the hole, and the other guy just quit, and he's like right there. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He was right there, and that's what inspires me to keep going. Because I have my days where I'm discouraged. Everything ain't always peachy keen. You know what I'm saying? But when you do have those stories where things did happen in such a crazy, unexpected way, it just lets you know that this can happen anytime. I have to keep going. You have to keep going because you will miss it by stopping. We stop ourselves from making it. You get what I'm saying? Because we get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be discouraged. But guess what? Keep going through your discouragement because eventually you'll come out of it. So that's what my operation is. That's how I have to operate through life when I'm down and have those struggling times. And look back at those stories, at those things that happen out of the blue for you. And who's to say that can't happen again? And it always does.
So, I wanted to ask you, like, how was the tour, and what was like the most memorable moment of that tour?
The tour was amazing, man, and I was just shocked every night looking at the audience and how many people was out there. You know what I'm saying? And from watching people faint right in front of me, I just couldn't believe it because their adrenaline is rushing so crazy. You know what I'm saying? But to have the fans know my name. And then when I had dropped 93 Camaro in 2014, they knew my song. So I was still traveling the world and people knew who I was as an artist. You know what I'm saying? That was such a blessing to have different people walking up to me singing my song or, you know what I'm saying, telling me how my voice affects them and in such a positive way. It makes them feel great. And my story and my song inspires them to want to keep going and chasing their dreams. That was amazing for me to experience all over the world in different countries. When I was a girl from Inglewood, California, bro. From Inglewood. I'm from the hood, the heart of the hood. So to be able to travel like that and touch lives and have my music reach that far was a dream come true, man.
I could imagine, man. So after the tour, you get back to the States, and I mean, I'm probably like the adrenaline and rush, just the whole experience. How was that like? And like, was there like a breaking period, and then?
When I got back to the States?
Yeah.
A breaking period as far as music, like not working or?
Yeah, not working, or was there a downtime? Like, was there another opportunity?
Stuff kept booming, bro. Once I came back from Nicki, I had opportunity to tour with Sierra. So the day I got back with Nicki, I had already did a Sierra audition on the break from Nicki. So I got the audition, and then Sierra got pregnant. So, which was crazy. So I ended up going on tour again with Nicki, and then when I came back from tour with Nicki, literally maybe the next day, I had to fly out and go on tour, the Jackie tour with Sierra. So things just started booming for me. I was heard more, I was seen more, my songs were booming. So different people were just reaching out, you know. And after I toured with Sierra, that's when I got the call for Kendrick, you know what I'm saying, to do SNL with him. I put the background singers together. I did some arranging on his song, I Love Myself. And then random, he called me late at night, 1 a.m, asking me to come record. And it was his song, All Right. And I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, okay, things are just booming here. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
I didn't go back to a 9 to 5 because things just took off. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And now I'm writing and working with different legends.
So you do the Sierra tour, and I know, like, how did the other opportunity, so we got the story about the T-Boz. How did the Kendrick Lamar, how did all that come?
That was a random call. I had a church friend that I grew up with, and his name is Dion. Dion is Kendrick Lamar's manager. So it's Dion and Dion Friley, and Free is his name. So they're his managers, and I grew up in church with them. Hadn't heard from these guys or seen these guys in years, but I got hit up randomly on Dion texted me, and I was just like, who is this? He was like, Dion Friley. And I'm like, wow. What's up, Dion? He was like, what you doing right now? I was like, I'm actually on my way home from the studio. He was like, okay, you think you can come to Encore Studios? I was like, what's going on? He was like, Kendrick Lamar, he really wants you to come by. And I was just like, what? This is random. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was actually, I told it backwards. So the first call I got from Dion asking me to find some background singers for him, for Kendrick Lamar. And that was a random call. And I was just like, are you serious? He was like, yeah, we got to do the SNL show, the 40th year special. Yeah. And I was like, okay, heck yeah. So I put together some singers and we flew to New York. And Kendrick is one of the most humble artists, down to earth, that I've ever worked with, like ever. You know what I'm saying? Like just real sweet, real humble. He allowed me to, you know, share my gift. You know, when I sang, he was like, don't hold back. I want y'all to sing, like really sing. I want y'all louder.
That's what you said?
Yeah.
I want y'all to sing.
He's like, I want y'all to sing. Don't be, I don't want no shy. Don't hold back. Because a lot of times in background, singing for different artists or whatever, they may want you to hold back, or because, you know, the artist is supposed to shine.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're in the background. You better sing. You're barely singing, you know. So he was just like, no, I want y'all to be heard. You know, I was just like, wow. So that's how that happened. And shortly after the SNL performance, he asked me to come and actually record the song.
Okay.
So I actually recorded All Right, and I recorded I Love Myself, and that's how it became.
So you on All Right? You gonna be all right.
We gonna be all right. Yeah, with Pharrell and just the doo.
Oh man,
simple,
okay,
you know?
okay, that's my jam right there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm on those credits, man. I'm All Right and I Love Myself, which were two of his biggest singles, and those are the ones he won his Grammys for. So here I am. So
you do the Kendrick Lamar, because the thing that is very interesting, and people don't understand the business. So you know, 5-time Grammys, phenomenal.
Thank you.
There's like separate entities, right? There's the background singing portion, there's the writer portion, and then there's the artist portion. So you have these 5-time Grammys, and then it's like, okay, she's recording 1993 Camaro in her car.
Yeah.
I know with you get credits. With those credits, you get splits. Could you give us a little background on all that? Because, yeah, you could be Grammy winning. Like, okay, for instance, with Missy Elliott, because you remind me of just like the story. To me, you're like multifaceted, like Missy Elliott. In her journey, there was also, you know, the label deal and the contract. Like you can have all these things, but you still gotta hustle, right? You still gotta prove yourself as an artist and stuff like that. So like how did that feel? Like from like, man, I'm working with these people, I'm getting these Grammys, and like you said, I still have to hustle as an artist to let them know, hey, I'm also an artist and I make this phenomenal music, like 1993 Camaro.
Yeah. You know what? It's crazy because it's a journey. Everybody has their timing, you know, and a lot of people think with all the accolades and everything that I have and all the artists I've worked with, people are like, why aren't you further? Or why aren't you bigger? Or why aren't you blown up yet? You know what I'm saying? And these are questions that I used to ask myself too. But I think I'm okay with where I am. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to be okay with where you are, but still pushing yourself further. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like a consistency thing. You know what I'm saying? You just have to keep going. It's very hard sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that I'm 5-time Grammy Award winner, but I don't have a Lamborghini yet, or I don't have a big ass house yet, or I don't have these other things that people expect me to have. But at the same time, I have my confidence. I have my music that I know is touching other people. And however it spreads and gets out there, I'm actually fine with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's different contracts and stuff that we go through in the industry that are crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Like these 360 deals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing too. Like you've seen the background. You worked with some heavy hitters, so you know how the business works.
And I'm still learning it. I don't have it all down 100%. You know what I'm saying? Still always learning every day, trying to figure out what can I do more of, or you know what I'm saying, to get more lighter, to get seen more, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying, or heard more. It's just a hustle out here. You know what I'm saying? And when you reach that breaking ground, then you know that you've crossed over. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I have made it in a sense because I wasn't always in this position. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, you've been able
that
to.
I've worked with, you know what I'm saying? I've been able to climb and progress through the years. So I'm excited to see where it continues to grow to.
Yeah, because you're at where a lot of people would love to be at. 5-time Grammy winner, going on tours, working with heavy hitters. And like you said, you got them credits. Like my name is on that. You know, I got that. Cause, and I'm like you in a sense too, because you know I have a lot of my music's been placed. And, you know, people look at you like, hey man, I heard your stuff on Dance Moms or Black Ink Crew. Yeah. Why ain't you? Hey babe, hey man, I got my full-time job and I do my music hustle. Like
that part. Okay.
Yeah, and then the splits. And then the splits, like you get the royalty check. I'm like, it ain't always what you think it is. You know what I mean?
At all. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. It is not at all always what you think. So that's why you have to continue to work, because the perception of this music industry is a lie. You know what I'm saying? So once you are in it and you really, really find out the truth, it's a bigger hustle and a bigger grind. You know what I'm saying? Because visually it can look one way, but then when you look at our bank accounts and stuff, it's not that way. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's really a hustle out here, man.
You got to keep it. You're doing it the right way. You keeping it multifaceted. You've seen it from behind the scenes, to like now the front end. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and play your next song, "Feeling Good." Can you again give us the background on that song?
Yeah, man. This one I actually did. I told you guys at T-Paz's studio. At the time, I didn't know it was I knew it was her studio, but I didn't know anything about her. You know, my friend Ko, who actually produced the track, you know, would always talk about a girl named Tion. And I'm like, Tion, okay. He's like, my sister Tion wants to meet you. And I'm like, okay, dope. She thinks she's a dope writer, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? She was like, so she's going to come in. You know what I'm saying? We're going to work, we're going to grind. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to the studio, and then the door flings open, and T-Boz walks in. And Ko is just like, hey, I want you to meet my sister Tion meet Candace. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, all this time you talking about Tion, and Tion is T-Boz, bro. I about passed out on the floor. I was so dramatic. I literally like passed out on the floor. And she was just like, you're amazing. Oh my God, you're such a dope writer. I'm so excited to work with you, you know? So they played this track, and I was just like, okay. I instantly had a whole vibe that I felt. So I literally just went inside and I freestyled this song all the way down, one take, no lie, and just knocked it out. And when I came out, T-Boz was just like, wow. Like, she was so amazed. She was like, I love this song. And I was just like, thanks. Wow. It wasn't even for me. I didn't write the song for me. I originally wrote it for her, for TLC. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you did? For the latest album.
Yeah, no. Before then, they were working on the girl group. You know what I'm saying? So they were trying to figure out.
I remember that.
Yeah, they were trying to figure out what they were doing. So I was in there writing for the girl group, and then TLC said they liked the song, and I was just like, okay, whatever. But eventually, long story short, she was just like, you know what? This song is such a vibe. It's one of my favorite songs, and I don't want to touch it. So keep it. And I was just like, oh my God. Well, and that's how Feeling Good came along.
Here you go. Like I said, behind every great song is an even greater story. You just heard it. the story behind Feeling Good here on Deeper Than Music with Candace Wakefield.
I wake up to the sunrise, beaming on my face. Feels so good today. I wake up with my life, I'm breathing today. Feels so good today. If you got someone to live for, tell them I love you. Yeah, shout 'em out and give thanks to. Give thanks to whoever you choose. Show 'em you love 'em. Give thanks to whoever you choose. I'm feeling good. Treating everyone like I should. I show everybody love. Ain't letting nothing worry you, no. Don't let another day go by. If you're holding on to anger, you should let it go. 'Cause you never know. So maybe spend time wasted walking around places, but you never know, no. What someone is going through, so you should smile more often. To be thankful for, say yeah, I do. I feel so good, don't you? If you got someone to live for, tell them I love you. Yeah, shout 'em out and give thanks to. Give thanks to whoever you choose. Show 'em you love 'em. Give thanks to whoever you choose. I'm feeling good. Treating everyone like I should. I show everybody love. Ain't letting nothing worry you, no. I'm feeling good. Treating everyone like I should. I show everybody love. Ain't letting nothing worry you, no. You know what's different? We're all the same. Living till we die, just to live again. Oh, so don't go judging anybody's life. Don't go judging and appreciate all the good inside. I'm feeling good. Treating everyone like I should. I show everybody love. Ain't letting nothing worry you, no. I'm feeling good. Treating everyone like I should. I show everybody love. Ain't letting nothing worry you, no.
Feeling Good, Candace Wakefield here on Deeper Than Music Radio. I like the positive vibe that you bring. Like you said, smile. You don't know what other people are going through.
Absolutely, man. Oh, it's freaking crazy.
Especially now. We got so much stuff going on in this country right now.
I'm saying all some people need sometimes is a smile. Your energy and your character. I always say people are introduced to your energy before you say a word. You know what I'm saying? So that can change somebody's attitude, mindset, anything. You know, with a smile, with your energy, good vibes. It's not hard to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I need on a daily. So that's what I want to give through my music.
And you definitely do, man. It's definitely good vibes. And I mean, to me, you make timeless music. I mean, the quality, the vibe that you bring, it speaks to that. So what's the current situation with Candace Wakefield right now?
Man, right now, just trying to keep pushing this album. I actually have a new single that I just recently recorded. I love it. Oh, my goodness. I'm excited about it. You know, it's called So Much Better. You guys are the first that I'm telling about it, but I'm going to be dropping that soon. I don't have a date yet, but definitely working on getting that out there and just talking about coming out of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I always want to tell my journey and tell my story and keep it real with you guys from all points of views. You know what I'm saying? So this would just be a continuation to the journey, and I'm so much better.
Yeah, I like that. And definitely Definitely send it to us, man. We'll definitely spin it out here.
Yay.
We got like 5 minutes left. Could you like? I got 2 questions for you. I think I've asked this previously, but what do you want at the end of the day? What do you want your legacy to be, and what advice would you give people that aspire to be like you in this industry?
And my legacy. I just want my legacy to be full of love, that people remember me for being a light and being loved, because it's such a dark world, and it's such a time where we all need love. And I don't think there's ever not a time where we need love or someone needs to be inspired or uplifted by words. You know what I'm saying? I always say that what you say can have a positive effect on people or it can have a negative effect on people. And music being the general and the universal language is very important, what we deposit in people's spirit. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I just want my legacy to continue to be love and light, because that is God's greatest commandment, is to love. So I just want to show love and light through my music.
Oh, wow.
And for those who are inspired to be like me, I just say do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Watch your character. Watch how you treat people out here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very important how people look at you. You know what I'm saying? Your legacy can only last as long as you do and as you are positive as a person. You know what I'm saying? As your individual character. So I just say watch your character, because it can go further than your gift will ever take you. You can be the greatest singer, the greatest dancer, the greatest writer, all these great things, whatever it is that your talent and your gift is. But what is your personality behind it? What is your character representing behind that? That's going to allow people to either want to work with you or not. You know what I'm saying? So be firm in whoever you are and believe in yourself and be strong and confident in what it is that you're doing, but also be kind and generous and loving as well. Yeah.
No, that's man, that's definitely, that speaks to you, because I mean the vibe that you give, like you say, is positive. And I believe like when you're of the right light, the energy, the universe works for you. God works for you. And
Absolutely.
You're a testament to that. And definitely when you have that single, send it out to us. We'll play it on our music segment, and we already have you on our Deeper Than Music 2.0 playlist on Spotify.
Like on Spotify, I saw that. Thank you so much.
No problem. Like a lot of people, like I said, your first interview, a lot of people like, yo, Candace Wakefield, that was a dope interview, and like we didn't know, like, and the music, like I said, the music is man, it speaks for itself, and sister, much blessings. And I'm interested. I'm excited to see what God has next for you in this wonderful industry.
Thank you so much.
So do you have any
plugs? I got some albums I'm working on, man. I'm working on Fantasia, and so just look out for it. I got Shanice's new single. It's coming out in February.
Okay.
Brown is the Undecided. He sampled "I Love Your Smile," so I'm really excited that they called me, and I have her new single that's about to drop really soon. So shout out to Shanice. Shout out to Fantasia, all the different artists I'm working with. Y'all listen out. My pen is on some albums. So
that pen game, that pen game is nice.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well, Candace, thank you once again for being on the show. We have your music in rotation, and man, we look forward to hearing the new single. And keep doing your thing. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate y'all. God bless.
Yeah, and you heard it here. Deeper Than Music, the story behind the music, more in depth here with Candace Wakefield here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Take care.
In my mind, find a time to relax, kick back. As this track plays, yesterday seemed miles away, couldn't stay. Had to gather my things, catch the train of thought, spark the vision. Better living, given the chance, enhance this dream. Make it seem true indeed, leave a waste of space so I can chase venues. Talk to you through tunes, room back, see the sack, rap about how it went down. Found music to get through, soothe these, release, be at peace. Manifest words, deferred pain, sustained, remain at the top of my game. Came, never left, till my death, a verse dispersed, exhale, farewell. I was full of love of hip-hop, till my heart stopped. Rock mics till my life passed. That's furious. Back in the day, wish you could stay forever, never left my side. Spread your wings and fly. I reminisce. Back in the day, wish you could stay forever, never left my side.